Fast food workers are celebrating after Governor Gavin Newsom signed a law that will raise the minimum wage to $20 an hour.
Cheering fast food workers and labor leaders gathered around Governor Gavin Newsom as he signed the bill that will pay them at least $20 an hour starting next year.
What a gift. What a gift that I get to pull this out.
The raise applies to workers at restaurants that have at least 60 locations nationwide. It will help people like single mother Juana, who has worked at Burger King for 20 years.
Una madre soltera no lo va a hacer, nunca.
Juana says she has tried to save, but it's nearly impossible when you're living paycheck to paycheck. She tells me that the cost of living in California has even made her work 2 jobs, making it challenging to spend time with her kids. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, California's fast food workers earn $34,000 per year. That's below the California poverty line for a family of 4. Some argue that raising the minimum wage would increase the cost for businesses. Critics also say it could force businesses to replace hourly jobs with self-service kiosks.
Many restaurants already responding to the wage hike, raising the prices on everything from coffee to burritos to burgers.
Never before has an industry faced a surge in labor costs like this one. Normally, minimum wage hikes are phased in over time. This was a 25% pay hike all at once. And while it was targeted for fast food workers, it is clear the impact will be felt in multiple sectors of the Southern California economy. For fast food workers across California, it was a good day to clock in.
Every hour is just $20, so it's like giving you a $20 bill each time you work and stuff. You know, it's going to help us out a lot.
The state's landmark minimum wage hike for fast food workers of chains of 60 restaurants and above, rising from $16 to $20 an hour overnight. Lizette Aguilar has worked for McDonald's for 17 years. She says she's eager for that first big paycheck. But for franchise owners, the dramatic surge in labor costs, including payroll taxes and workers' compensation insurance, is a nightmare. Michaela Mendelson owns 6 El Pollo Loco franchises, 4 in LA County, 2 in Ventura.
My average store will go up $180,000 a year. As of today, Conan, I'm well into the red. We're losing money.
As with other franchise owners across the state, Mendelson says prices will need to rise. Kiosks went up last week.
I think AI in the more long term, maybe by later next year, will be in the drive-thrus. And you won't know if you're talking to a robot or a person.
Elsewhere, there's confusion as to which restaurants are covered in the new law. Gabriella Campbell owns a Handel's ice cream franchise in L.A. She asked the author of the bill, Assemblyman Chris Holden of Pasadena, if her store was included in the mandatory minimum wage hike. She says he told her to talk to the group that wrote the law, the Service Employees International Union.
Upon further contact with SEIU, they also decided that their scope was very limited and most likely would not be able to carve out an exemption for us, so that we would probably need to write our own bill.
It may not matter. While the new labor union written law targets fast food workers, it will impact wages in all sectors of the economy in need of low-skilled help. That's according to economist Alan Ginn of the University of San Diego.
Because the labor market's competitive. It's still a tight labor market. Companies are having difficulty finding employees. And so if fast food is paying $20 an hour, other restaurants are probably going to have to at least match that in order to retain their employees. And then people outside the restaurant industry will probably have to up their wages.
Both of our Democratic opponents are calling for a minimum wage between $20 and $25 an hour. You're calling for a $50 an hour federal minimum wage. That's 7 times the current national minimum wage of $7.25 an hour. Can you explain how that would be economically sustainable for small businesses? You have 60 seconds.
First, let me say I owned and ran a small business for 11 years. I created hundreds of jobs, benefits, retirement benefits, also health care benefits. I know what worker productivity means, and that means that you have to make sure that your employees are taken care of and have a living wage. In the Bay Area, I believe it was the United Way, came out with a report that very recently, $127,000 for a family of 4 is just barely enough to get by. Another survey very recently, $104,000 for a family of 1. barely enough to get by, low income because of the affordability crisis. And so just do the math. Just do the math.
As I think it was President Reagan said, we're from the government. We're here to help.